Here are some useful medium tips that you need to know. There is a cool trick with a red barrel where you can left click it, press F to get it back to your hand, and instead of it being random and flying all over the place, you can actually control the place where you want the barrel to be exploded at. The red barrel trick will not work with the gas barrel, as you would want to manually activate it by meleeing it a few times before you throw it, and it's gonna explode on impact. An interesting thing about gas grenade is that opponents will not take any damage while they are hiding behind the wall. But when you go for a gas mine, you can clearly see that you can damage yourself, your teammates and enemies through walls, floors and ceilings. You can use this trick to prevent enemies from stealing the cash out if you are playing below. You also need to know that gas can be countered by flames, whether it's going to be a flamethrower, flammable barrel or a pyro grenade. So knowing that information, you really don't want to place gas barrels and flammable barrels on your cash out, as they will actually grief each other. Be mindful about your defibrillator usage. Use it in emergency situations only. If you have the chance, especially if you are playing recon, to take your teammate somewhere safe and slowly res him so he can be full HP and ready to fight, do this instead. I personally think that double movement, which is zipline plus jump pad on your medium, is superior to any other combination, as you have the option to off angle, allow your heavies to quickly get on high grounds and quickly rotate through the map. And especially if you are going for an aggressive playstyle, you want to be on other side of the map as fast as possible multiple times throughout the match. If you get stunned by the light player from behind, don't panic, just kill him. It's that simple. You can perform an interesting ankle breaker by going behind the cover to then quickly slide out of it, surprise your enemies and make it very uncomfortable for them to kill you. Try to always slide before using the jump pad, it will give you additional distance. When you are playing Scar, try to always aim at the upper chest area of a person. This way you will be as accurate as possible while still occasionally going for headshots. If I need to reload mid-fight, I usually go for a combination of sliding to the left and then quickly jumping to the right. It makes it a lot harder for my enemies to track my model. Both Scar and AKM are extremely accurate up close without ADS. Just press left click and focus on strafing. As a medium player, you should always prioritize your life over anything else. If you see that there is no way for you to win the team fight, instead of fully committing and dying as a team, you maybe want to sit, relax and wait for your teammates to coin, or wait for enemies to leave so you can res your teammates after. As the match starts, try to always cycle your movement cooldowns in order to get a superior position over your enemies. For example, that guy was completely clueless and out of position. Don't forget to use the window climb method to surprise your enemies from an unexpected angle. As a medium player, it is always your responsibility to steal the cash out. Ask your heavy player for a bubble, mesh shield and a body block to be safe. When you see that enemies are going for the last second steal, instead of trying to brawl them as they come in close, let them come close, and when they gonna steal, run forward and headshot the guy. As a medium player, you absolutely need to have good aim, and you can have it if you spend 10 to 15 minutes every day just shooting bots in a practice range. Go for 360s, explore and feel your sensitivity, and with time you will see that you have better tracking, better flicking, and overall your aim will improve drastically. When you are starting the fight, make sure that your crosshair is on the target before you press your left click. This will increase your accuracy and opponents will have less time to react and they will die faster. You can also take less damage if you go for unpredictable strafe patterns. If you see an isolated target on a high ground, you can always go for the 3-2-1 jump pad with your team to surprise an enemy and quickly finish him off. If you have good aim, recon is far better than a healing beam, as it will allow you to set up for future fights, always see where enemies are and kill solo players. You can place your jump pad on a wall to surprise your enemies with unexpected movement. Don't forget to slide while looking into it and perform a small bunny hop in the end for maximum efficiency. You can place the jump pad on the side of the door in order to always see when enemies are approaching you, because they would have to shoot it. Additionally, you can place your jump pad at the start of the door in order to make it difficult for opponents to enter it without breaking the jump pad. It's very useful when you are being chased. There are situations where you would absolutely want to destroy the jump pad after you have used it yourself. You can kill a person if you throw something at him and he's below 50 HP. When you're out of ammo, make sure that you always perform a full reload animation before you start climbing or doing anything else, as it will cancel the full reload and you'll have to start all over again. If you throw goo on your guardian turret and then pick it up, the goo will explode. If your guardian turret is damaged, you can always pick it with your hand and then place it again, and it will be full HP. When riding a horizontal zipline, you can jump to make it difficult for enemies to hit you. It's easier to control your recoil while spraying if you are anti-mirroring the opponent's movement. If he goes left, you go right. It's called aim smoothing. You can check it on YouTube. You can see enemies better with recon senses if you inspect your zipline or a jump pad. When going for a vertical zipline, you can always go for a little super jump right at the end of your zipline to give yourself additional momentum, plus ability to choose the direction in which you will fall. We already know that there is a window climbing technique that allows you to access high grounds faster, but you can also perform the same trick on certain rooftops. For example, Skyway Stadium, lower buildings, and then buildings on Monaco. Some of them are accessible when it comes to the rooftops when you are jumping from the window. There is still a bug in the game where if you place a guardian turret on top of the goo barrel, start the mantling animation and pick it up, it will send you flying. You can also place an APS turret on top of the goo barrel in order to throw it and completely destroy all the mines and C4s on the Cashout that you are trying to steal. You should definitely try the tracking dart in your games, as it will give you superior information on enemies that you were able to hit it with. You can drastically change your direction mid-air, whether it's gonna be a mega jump pad, a small jump pad, or a zipline. Everyone knows that you can break ziplines, but did you know that you can break ladders in this game? If you have good aim and you are playing recon senses, I highly advise you to go for the Scar playstyle, where you can off-angle when you can try to find 1v1 duels. But when you're playing with a healing beam, or you are not as good with your aim, go for an AK. This weapon will forgive the mistakes that you are making. This weapon will allow you to poke enemies and shoot enemy shields. This is exactly what you're gonna do if you'll play behind your heavy. When you're playing with a healing beam, it's very important to hold hands with your heavy player. You will enable him with movement, he will enable you with protection and point presence. If you run away from your heavy, he won't be able to save you with his bubble and mesh shield, and you won't be able to keep him alive with your healing beam and poke damage with an AK. You can slide off from the edge of anything to give yourself an additional momentum boost. Do this to travel longer distances. Go for a jump before the end of the zipline to give yourself additional momentum. An ability to do a small bunny hop. When going for the res on your teammate with defibrillator, make sure that there is nothing blocking your line of sight, whether it's a bush or a small plant. That was it for today. See you next time.